at CNN. Okay. And in the process of getting endlessly smeared and slandered by Jake Tapper, who called me an anti-Semite, I still turned around and was able to fire off a CNN segment only a couple hours later with my friend Alex Michelson, who had asked me to come on CNN a while back to talk about my Cuba trip. Okay. Now, what's really funny about that is this creates a very unique dynamic, right? Because on the one hand, Jake Tapper wants to say I'm a toxic person. He wants to get people to not platform me, not broadcast my views in particular, because like obviously his goal there is to say I shouldn't be someone people associate with because I'm a bad guy, I'm an anti-Semite, right? Now, obviously, that's a cynical smear, and most people don't believe it, but it is also a testament to how little people believe it, even internally at CNN in some ways, because, imagine being the boomer who is watching the Jake Tapper segment in the middle of the day, only to then turn around and watch me a couple hours later to be like, wait a minute, wasn't this guy the dangerous radical anti-Semite? Now he's over here talking about how he went to Cuba to deliver humanitarian aid. Third way be like, shame on CNN for allowing Hasan Piker on the broadcast. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty funny. It is a pretty funny duality here. American TV news anchors' wrathful campaign of elder abuse continues. Our vulnerable seniors deserve information dignity. But yeah, it is funny because, like, on the one hand, yeah, Hasan the Hun is back from a humanitarian mission to Cuba amidst an oil blockade and power outages. Go show some love to Alex, by the way. He's staking his neck out. So I noticed that CNBC, CNN, MS Now love having Greenblatt on. Will they have someone from CARE to talk about Slotkin? No, of course not. Of course not. But yeah. Why is CNN in LA now? CNN has a LA station too, obviously, and they're broadcasting out of the LA office right now. Like, Jake Tapper's literally in my backyard. Like, he was in that building that I was in earlier in the day. Okay. Currently babysitting a 4-year-old. When do I start teaching him communism? Just say sharing is caring. That's all you need to do. Like, instill that value in the baby. You glaze terrorists like Hamas. No wonder CNN won't broadcast you. Buddy, look on the screen, okay? I know you got so horny and so angry to say that, but like, look at the screen in front of you. Like, this is literally the segment that I'm covering currently is the segment that I did on CNN, which, there was some funny thoughts on this, obviously. Adam Johnson first says, I simply cannot handle another bogus anti-Semitism scandal. All smoke and no fire from Corbyn to campus protesters and Mamdani. They all follow the same sleazy script pushed out by Israel lobbyists, hatchet men like Greenblatt, who, it's worth noting, regularly texts with Tapper. Last July, I broke down the script with respect to Mamdani. The one targeting Piker is similar. Here's the basic playbook for anyone interested. TLDR, it's manufacturing smoke, fanning the smoke, and then hoping no one notices the total lack of actual fire. And let us not forget that the totally fake anti-Semitism scandal Jake Tapper and Dana Bash ginned up targeting Rashida Tlaib in September 2024 that was premised on a complete lie that Bash and Tapper vaguely walked back without apology or any accountability. Note, too, that in the first 2 years of genocide from October 2023 until the October 2025 ceasefire, Tapper did not feature a single Palestinian guest on his Sunday morning show, CNN State of the Union. He also ignored Gaza entirely during the height of the famine from March to July 2025. Okay, but what has Hasan said about 9/11? Nothing worse than what Bill Maher has said about 9/11. Next question. Anyway, so Israel sending Gottheimer after you now? Yeah, I mean, I hate Josh Gottheimer. You guys know this. And the other one will be Moskowitz, which is great. Come on, send Moskowitz after me too, because I'm working to unseat Moskowitz anyway. Gottheimer, I think, is in a more protected situation, of course. But where's Richie Torres? The streets are asking, where is Richie Torres? Richie Torres used to be the AIPAC attack dog that they would send after me. Yeah, the primary using another bigot to defend a bigot does not help you move past what Piker has said. By the way, I'm bigoted towards what? Like the Twin Towers? The fuck does that even mean? I'm bigoted. Like, it's so funny. It's so funny to just be like, oh, dude, you're a bigot. Like, you said America deserved 9/11. You're bigoted towards America, American imperialism. Like, what the fuck is the bigotry here? The primary person calling for Piker to be canceled went on Bill Maher literally the same day. This is the world's fakest outrage by the world's biggest hypocrites. Exactly. And yet you cannot say what Hasan said. You're using whataboutisms. Anyway, so there's that angle. We're not going to, we're not going to harp on it too much. I mean, it's just like I cannot stress how little motion this has. It's pretty funny. Even MAGA moms are defending you. Mary Lou's defending me. Hell yeah. We're building a coalition here. Bob, on the other hand, probably is like, we should send him to Guantanamo Bay. I heard his ass went down to Cuba. We should send his ass to Guantanamo Bay. Hell yeah. Going on the Nazi website to cry about anti-Semitism is something else. Yeah. Anyway, but where was I? So the Jake Tapper stuff is funny, but what's even funnier, once again, is Gremlo says, imagine being a CNN watcher and seeing Jake Tapper go on an 8-minute pearl-clutching segment with two insane Zionists crying about Hasan the Hun, and then an hour later you see this piece on the same guy doing an aid mission. Really undercuts the whole he's a terrorist line of argument. Exactly. Exactly. It's like so insincere. It's such an obvious lie, and like people are not willing to commit to it, right? People are not willing to commit to it, which, I'll start off with this, obviously. I'll start off with the segment here. Props to Mehdi Hasan says, props to CNN's Alex Michelson for having Hasan the Hun on and letting him speak in his own voice, his own words, rather than ventriloquized or quoted out of context by pro-Israel politicians and pundits. Let's take a look.
There he is for the first time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Paint us a picture of what it's like on the ground. What'd you see?
When I first landed in Cuba, I was taken aback by how beautiful everything was. You got the 1950s cars, and it's a tropical island destination. But very quickly thereafter, as soon as we got into Havana, the main city area where people congregate, I couldn't believe the sights that I was seeing. It was very sad. You had homes that looked like they were bombed out. Our tour guide at the time said that this was somewhat of a product of hurricane season and how difficult it is to repair these buildings. And I already had known about the rolling blackouts, and I experienced them later in the day. And it was definitely unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Everything's pitch black. There aren't any traffic lights on. It's crazy, right? But I was taken aback. I was very sad by all the poverty that I saw, and then I was very angry. It was actually Ben Rhodes who told me that I would get very sad when I first went to
former Obama foreign policy advisor.
Former Obama foreign policy advisor Ben Rhodes, who was formative in the previous normalization agreement with Cuba that Barack Obama had orchestrated, and he was right. It was very sad to see, but then it was very angering. It was very anger-inducing because I felt like. So Phil. Twitter video, bro. Twitter video. Absolutely cooked. Now, who the fuck chose that tie, Unc? It's a good tie, bro. Shut up. Here, we'll continue off where we left off. It was very... Piker describes feeling sad and angry during Cuba trip. Very sad to see. But then it was very angering. It was very anger-inducing because I felt like, there was a lot of potential on this island that we were just robbing the people of. And it's totally cruel and totally unnecessary. And it was part of the reason why I went to Cuba, because I've heard a lot about Cuban organizing, the Cuban government. I'd read a lot about it.
Sure.
I knew about the island's history of developing sovereignty, but I'd also heard about this blockade, right? And I wanted to figure out exactly how this blockade was harming people directly, and in many ways that are indirect, because the blockade itself is designed to be invisible. It's a system of sanctions. It's this bureaucratic nightmare that basically renders it impossible for the island to do regular commerce, just like any other country. Banks can't take out loans from any other banks. And you, as an American citizen, as a matter of fact, have a lot of restrictions on what you can and can't do, both on the island or if you wanted to even send money. If you have relatives on the island, it's a very difficult process to like directly send cash payments to your relatives as well. It's totally unnecessary. These rules are so arbitrary, and yet they're so damaging to everyone, to everyday Cuban existence.
What were you most surprised by actually seeing it up close and personal?
I was surprised by the resilience. I was surprised by the fact that people, in spite of all of these, struggles, were still surviving. Right? They had a relatively chill attitude about everything, which was somewhat shocking to me because I feel like I'm a much more high intensity person. But I was also really impressed with the accomplishments that they've made in places like biomedical in the biomedical field.
What do you think is at this point the biggest need? Because
that might be your weakest fit in recent memory, man. Do you cover things from any angle other than how tangentially relate to coverage of about you in the media? What? Are you not hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth? This has nothing to do with me appearing on CNN. It's like no different than me talking about the experiences I had on the island. This is, what the hell?
we hear like the New York Times reporting about the fact that the power goes off in the hospitals and like babies are having to, be hand pumped to keep them alive in certain situations. I mean, what do you think is the greatest need
it's oil,
on the ground?
100%. And it's actually totally legal for Cuba to trade with other countries. It's just that America makes it impossible. So what is a necessity is for the grid to come back alive. And for that to happen, they need to get oil. I believe there's a Russian tanker that just docked in Havana as of this morning, if I'm not mistaken, with 730,000 barrels of oil, which will provide much needed respite and will allow the Cuban energy grid to survive. They'll still ration it heavily, but this way medicine can be transported on the island.
I want to give you a chance to respond to two criticisms of this trip that have gotten widely reported. The New York Times sort of called you out for the fact that you all stayed in a nice hotel that was very luxurious compared to a lot of what the people on the island are dealing with every day. What's your response to the allegations of hypocrisy there? Yeah,
I thought it was very interesting as well. So we went on a humanitarian aid mission with foreign dignitaries, delegates, advocates, activists, journalists, and the like. It was around 200, 300, 400 people. I'm not exactly sure on the number, but the American government has placed, and this was fascinating to me, we had to get an OFAC clearance from the Treasury Department just to go, right? Yeah. And the American government has actually created these incredible restrictions that only allow American citizens to stay in four hotels on the island. There are thousands of hotels on the island, but we can only stay in 4. And if I don't stay in a hotel, and these are 5-star hotels, according to the American government, if I don't stay in one of those hotels, I could go to prison for 10 years and have to pay a $250,000 fine. Wow. I'm an American citizen. Yeah. It's so totally ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it.
And real quickly, there are a lot of people that are watching this, especially places like South Florida, that feel like the regime is repressive, that it's been a terrible regime, that it's killed people, and that what you're doing is propping them up. What do you say to that?
I just don't want babies to die. I don't want people to suffer. I think that the difference in opinion as far as like how Cuba governs itself is up to the Cuban population. I just want, as an American citizen, to stop putting our hand on the scale in this incredibly violent way, because the results are unbelievably violent. Collective punishment is a war crime after all, and there is no other way to look at what we've done, especially as Trump has like basically said the quiet part out loud and restricted all oil from going into the island. It's impossible to ignore.
Yes, it is. And according to what he's saying, it sounds like this story is not going away anytime soon. Hasan Piker, thank you for sharing your views. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. I mean, what kind of counter can you have for that, right? Like, people will turn around and be like, bro, you're doing propaganda, you're doing regime propaganda. It's like, no, I'm just telling you exactly what's going on the island. I'm telling you who is primarily responsible for it. And if you don't appreciate that, it's because you are unwilling to recognize the damage that this government is causing to Cuba, because you have some kind of ideological blind spot. Like, are there issues with mismanagement of the economy? Absolutely. Okay. But it is not up to us to just directly cause death and destruction on this island for no reason other than the fact that we want the people to be so angry that they rise up violently against the government until we stop their starvation. Like, why do we get to decide that? Every country has issues. Okay? Every country has issues, but it's up to the people to deal with those issues in a way that does not take away their dignity, does not take away their sovereignty. It's unbelievable. Very effective job expressing your opinions. Good job indeed, sir. Yeah. You're reaching the Barbers and the Debras with this one. They love soft-spoken discussions like this on TV. Anyway, it's so totally crazy that like there's a propaganda opportunity for people because of like how unnecessarily cruel and how silly some of these restrictions are, that when you describe to them like who's forcing you to stay at a hotel like this, people don't believe you. They're like, nah, that's crazy. It's like, well, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? It's just the truth, right? I know it sounds unbelievably stupid, right? I know it sounds unbelievably stupid, but that's just the case. Now, the real question is, now that you know what the truth is, how does that make you feel? What will you do next? Will you fight back against this? Will you try to alleviate some of the stress that the Cuban energy grid is experiencing? Will you try to save Cuban lives? Or will you just sit around and continue defending the blockade? Anyway, you can't get to control a government when you can't even vote in their elections. It's ridiculous that the U.S. thinks they rule the world. Yeah. Hi, Hasan. Asman's real viewer here. I hate those who bend the knee to evil people. I'm curious to hear your opinion. I have a question. What makes you think that the left doesn't secretly support Israel just the same? The left? I mean, do you think I secretly support Israel? I mean, if I was secretly supporting Israel, do you think they'd be fucking coming after me this hard? I don't know if you've been paying attention, but anyway, there's also one other update on the Cuba stuff, obviously. Ostenox cooked so freaking hard. The first round of our Cuba mini doc was not this good. And the reason why it's taken a long time for us to release the mini doc is because we patched it together, but it wasn't like good enough. And I wanted to go back and, give editing notes and and put together something that's like very cool for you guys to appreciate, that you can share with other people, like a standalone property, a standalone mini doc. And Ostenox's editing is so spectacular. And the intro is so good that I was like, bro, I have to show you, like, I have to leak this,
Right now, as we speak, there are 11 million people living 90 miles off the coastline of the United States of America and a Caribbean island nation known as Cuba, experiencing a severe crisis. Everyday life is being brought to a screeching halt. There are nationwide blackouts caused by a total collapse of the country's electrical grid. There's a shortage of food and medicine. They can't pump drinking water. Cuba has been starved of the most important resource to make modern life work: oil. For over 60 years, the United States has maintained a trade embargo against Cuba. Under the embargo, it's nearly impossible for foreign companies to invest and do business in Cuba while trading with the United States. For years, I've wanted to visit Cuba. I wanted to learn about the problems caused by the embargo. I wanted to see a socialist society in person. This month, I took the opportunity to go as part of a humanitarian mission to bring aid that my government won't. I'd be accompanying Progressive International alongside hundreds of others from around the world. Activists, journalists, artists, and politicians will be coming to the island by boat and plane to deliver over 40 tons of necessary supplies, food, medicine, and medical equipment. Our first stop is Miami, Florida.
When will this release? Hopefully this week. Like, my goal was to get it released by by today, actually, but it's obviously not going to happen. Yeah, Tyler Hasan Vera. It's Tyler Hasan Vera time. Is Unk a YouTuber now? Yeah, Unk is a YouTuber. But it's very good. Johnny Harris pissing and shitting after this one. Yeah, I'm coming for him, dude. Jonald Harrison, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, dude. Jonald McDonald Harrison, I'm coming for that ass. Okay. Would you honestly call Cuba a socialist society with its current sanctioned state? I mean, it is. It is a country run by a communist party. There's definitely I would go so far as to say like an orthodox understanding of economic organization on the island, and then there's been some reforms. There's been some reforms in the economy. There's been some liberalization, some marketization that has taken place. However, and you'll see, I will, after this, I'll release my interview that I did with Cosio as well. After first we released a mini doc, and then I have almost like a 2-hour interview that I did with the foreign vice minister, and like one of the things that he was explaining to me was the fact that while internally there's a lot of there's differences in opinion within the party structure. People want reform. Some people are responsive to those demands. But the blockade system makes it virtually impossible for them to adequately apply this stuff, like adequately engage in any sort of economic reform whatsoever, because the American government has tried to, at every step, rip apart Cuban sovereignty. Like even the hotel system, right? Like America currently allows oil to enter the island in 2 different places. One is Guantanamo Bay, so that they can keep operating their torture facility. There's a McDonald's on there. That's like literally a part of Cuba, right? But it's America's own torture facility on there, and they have all the fucking energy. They have the nicest cars, the newest vehicles, everything. Life goes on as though nothing is going on at all. And that's like not that far away from Havana, right? It's unbelievable. But then also, the other place where America allows oil to enter the country is for private facilities. So hotels, like the ones that we stayed in, have sufficient gas so they can continue operating. So they're on the one hand starving the hospitals, starving the transportation, and therefore ruining the distribution of medicine to the island. But on the other hand, the hotel lights stay on. So they're tilting the scales in favor of like private businesses in an effort to in this very ham-fisted way, in an effort to elevate private businesses and keep them alive while directly causing tremendous suffering for regular Cuban society, ordinary Cubans. It's really messed up. It's just so cruel. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it other than there's like unbelievable cruelty. It's like maximum cruelty. Yeah. I think if you did a sit-down edited structure vids like this once a month, they would do super well and allow you to expand your reach since they would be easily shareable. Sure. Yeah. I think so too. Yeah. So, get excited for that. Mary Lou is not having any Hasan slander. We'll talk about that, and then we'll get into situation monitoring ASAP. Okay, those are the last 2 things I'm going to look at. In spite of all of the attacks, we got some defenders even on the MAGA side.
Always do, Mom. Do you have ditties?
I have 1 funny one and 2 serious ones.
Okay.
I'm just making sure that Mr. Piker didn't get any broken bones. I saw that he traveled to Cuba with his communist group, his pink friends, the pink code friends, and people coming back from Cuba. A lot of people traveling there, they're getting break bone fever. And that's for real. It's like
what is a break bone fever? What?
Mosquitoes that bite you, and then you get this very bad disease. I'm just making sure that our friend Mr. Piker is okay. My husband loves his hat that you gave him, and I've been hooking up every day to stream to see if maybe you forgot my address.
Dengue fever? Wait, really? I mean, I didn't get bit once by mosquitoes. I don't know why. Cuban mosquitoes did not fuck with me. Like, straight up. Cuban mosquitoes did not fuck with me at all. I don't know what it is. I mean, but it's pretty crazy. Like, I didn't even have to use the mosquito spray at all.
And where you might be able to send me something. But I'm waiting on my gift. I can wait. And then I hope you're okay. And if you need us to slap down that disgusting Democrat, Brad Schneider, that's been on you recently, we can slap him down for you if you need it.
Slap him down.
Love, Bob and Mary Lou. What?
Slap him down.
Yeah, he's been calling our friend Mr. Piker some bad names like anti-Semitic and all kinds of stuff. And he's a Democrat, and it's kind of bizarre. So Mr. Piker's been getting in a little trouble. And if he needs Bob and I to come help, we are here. And this is your invite to come back. You come back on our show because
goddamn, somehow Hasan Piker has become the golden child of our family.
It's the most bizarre turn of events that has happened in the course of this entire podcast.
No, I know. Chad is turning me into a podcast.